Joining me now from Williamsburg, Virginia, president of the Institute for Liberty, Andrew Langer. Andrew, why the decline? Let's scratch our head for a minute here. Well, we have a president who's trying to institute pro-America policy. He's trying in various ways. He's being knocked down in the courts. He's getting zero help from the Congress, but little by little, he's sending a message out there. It's the same reason why illegal immigration dropped shortly after he was sworn in, right? Remember, there was a decline, and then 2018, it bumped back up because we had these radical lawyers dressed in black robes opening up the borders, and now the president has fought back tooth and nail and implemented policies that's sending a different message now, and that is, hey, you know what? The American people are not going to put up with this. We have a sovereign border. If you wanted to come into this country, you need to do it the right way.
Well, and certainly it's that aggressive stance. But isn't it interesting, Graham, how a very simple policy fix can really bring this all about? This idea of, and it's rooted in international law, the idea that if you are seeking asylum and you hit the shores of a sovereign nation that is not the one you are fleeing from, you have to seek asylum in that country first. You can't just simply use that country as a route of passage to the United States. Once we fixed that policy at home and said, okay, if you have not sought refuge in Mexico first or wherever first, then you cannot apply here. That's a simple fix. It's one that didn't need to be done through Congress. It could be done administratively because it is firmly rooted in international law and the treaties that we've already signed. And that has brought it down. Plus, and let's be honest here, there is this idea of the fact that folks have, the administration has taken a hard nose. Frankly, there are issues of economic uncertainty here at home, which have made the United States not as attractive as it might have been, because we have the Fed doing what they're doing. We have tumult in the markets themselves. All of those things work together. All the people who are working against President Trump, that has also had the effect of dropping the number of refugees at the border.
Yeah, but don't forget, Andrew, you have California saying free health care for illegals and free housing and food stamps and whatever you need. So, I mean, the beacon light is still on in certain sanctuary areas. But the bottom line is we have to secure our border. And this is a key component. It's a key component in the equation, right? And so the president posted a video on his Twitter just completely ignored, and if not ignored, bashed by the mainstream media. I want to play. It's 20 seconds. It's a beautiful thing. It has a little bit of music. I want you to watch and listen. Roll tape. I'm sorry, but as an American, I feel proud when I see that video. You know, even if it didn't have the dramatic kind of 22nd century Fox music behind it. The bottom line is this is something that we should all rally behind as Americans. And instead, Andrew, we have the mainstream media ridiculing this, talking about eminent domain. Suddenly they're worried about the farmers and the ranchers down along the border when they couldn't care less about them.
Well, they couldn't care less about them for a whole host of reasons. Let's be really clear here about this. Now, listen, I want to say, this much. It is an absolute essential aspect of a nation's sovereignty to control its borders. That goes without saying. And there are folks who don't like that. They don't want to see that happen. Once you lose control of your borders, you cease to be a nation. Now, on the issue of eminent domain, this is something that I've got a great deal of experience in. 25 years working on private property rights. And I hate to tell folks on the left who've been all too happy for land to be taken via the regulatory process for things like habitat for the spotted owl or the golden-cheeked warbler. But the reality is the government has the power under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution to take private property for public use. Border security is very clearly a public use well within the orbit of the federal government's powers.
Right, and you're talking about national security. This is common sense. I don't think there's any rancher, Democrat or Republican, that would put up a fight putting a fence along the border that's only going to help protect. This is what ranchers do. Ranchers put up fences. This happens to be set up by the federal government. It has to be 30 feet tall. It's a beautiful fence. And if you don't believe the president, have a look at CPB's Twitter account. They just posted talking about this new construction. Underline, Andrew, new border wall construction around Lukeville in Arizona, which is kind of in between Yuma and Tucson. And then they put up some pictures. These are beautiful pictures, Andrew. One of them is a backhoe. I can describe it. It's a backhoe digging what looks like to be footing for these walls, these barriers. The next picture is the barriers actually going up. Also a beautiful thing. Going into the footings. The next picture is the barrier up. I would imagine at some point they pour the cement for the foundation for this thing, and then the final picture is, okay, here's one section of the wall going up. And by the way, if you look carefully, there is no existing wall there, mainstream media. There is no existing wall. This is new wall.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.